frame. I hope I'm in focus at least. I'm trying. I really am trying. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a bit of a special one. Today I will be sharing my bookshelves with you. You've seen them multiple times before. You see them here, you see them when I pick my randomized book and stuff. But I'm just gonna do a bit more of an in-depth showcase or something of them, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Actually, I was kind of struggling to come up with an idea for a video. And I asked Twitter, hi, do you have any suggestions for videos, basically? And Kevin from Much Ado About Books suggested that I do a bookshelf tour. So that's what I'm here for. I have no idea how this is gonna go. Let me just do a bit of a disclaimer first. I don't have these nice aesthetic bookshelves that are completely sorted that only stores books. No, I don't have that much space in my room. I have the bookshelves that I have. I wouldn't be able to fit any more bookshelves into this room. My point is that my bookshelves are not the most aesthetic ones. It's not this super amazing wow, I have 300 books sort of bookshelf tour that I know that many have and that I would love to have. That's not the reality for me, and that's not what's practical for me to even start with. So this is what I got. I have two bookshelves, the one behind me and the one I'm looking at over there in the corner that I will show you later. Do I have a system? No, I don't really. As I said, these bookshelves store much more than just my books. This one, for example, it has my old prizes and medals from when I was doing athletics, and then we have my stereo, and then we have books, and then we have more books, and then we have electronic stuff, and then my underwear. You're getting all the info here. It's all about just finding storage wherever I can. I just thought that we'll go through this bookshelf. I won't go through every single one of my books because that will take too long and I'm not sure you're interested, but I will probably point out a few books, just talk about what's in general on my bookshelves, if there's anything special, and then we'll go through the second bookshelf. I think that's it actually. Let's just get to it. I'm talking too much. So here we have it. I'm gonna go through it like this, I think. I'm gonna do this first section here and then go down a step and talk about the books and the things I have there, and then we'll get to the next shelf. First off, let's talk about the knickknacks. I have this compass with a note that I got from my cousin and his wife a while back, and they actually mean quite a lot to me. The note has something really nice on it, trusting yourself, you know the path or something like that. I don't remember, but something along those lines, and I tend to feel very lost. So I like having the compass. And I have this mirror that is sort of inspired by Egypt that I got from my uncle many years ago. It's actually broken, but I think it's quite pretty and matches with the compass. Then we have my love, my speaker that connects to my phone and to my computer, to my everything. But here we have a lip gloss in this super pretty packaging. I don't know, some random mini perfumes. I typically also have a lip balm here and a body lotion, perhaps some tea tree oil, because this spot is close to my bed, so it's quite easy for me to just reach over. Let's just move these things away because they will be in the way. Here are my Twilight books. So I have the Swedish editions here of the first four. I actually think that the Swedish names of these editions are really pretty. Instead of Twilight, the first one is called If I Could Dream, which is a quote from the book. Same one with this one, New Moon, which is called Whenever I Hear Your Voice. The Sound of Your Heart is Eclipse, and then As Long As We Both Shall Breed is Breaking Dawn, and then we have The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. But it's the same sort of cover, we all know this one. I have the Twilight Saga Official Illustrated Guide. I have the first part in the graphic novel series that they made for the books, and then as a recent addition I have the Midnight Sun novel, which is huge. I'm the only one who loves the cover. I honestly love the cover. Everyone else seems to hate it. I like it. We then have the first book in the A Darker Shade of Magic series. I have the other two, but I have borrowed them to a friend because I begged her to read them. So I don't have them at the moment, so this looks very lonely here. I then have Six of Crows duology. Love these editions, they are so gorgeous. Look at that foiled and that stained edge. So pretty. Then I have the Gone series by Michael Grant. This is a series that I loved when I was younger. The first two books are in Swedish, the rest are in English. So it's 6 books in the series. I remember so vividly how This is probably like the first series where I actually knew like the release dates of the books, and I followed it, and I even pre-ordered it or started to look for it in the stores once I knew that it had been released. So I do have very fond memories of this series, and I would love to reread it at some point. Once again, the first two are in Swedish, not that special, I would say. What's this note? Ooh, it's my friend who recommended me scary movies back in the day. Okay, keeping that. This one is cool. This is stained and red and looks really cool and dusty. But yeah, I remember these being quite dark for being like a YA or sort of like middle grade. And then this one is also like really cool. It's just called Light, and it's like completely black. Oh, they made such nice books even back then, and none of my editions are matching. That's pretty cool as well. They're all very different. Next to that, I have my very small collection of K-pop albums. Yes, I used to be into K-pop. We have some EXO. I think this is EXO Monster? No, it's not. Exodus. Oh, and yes, my bias was Tao, so I have Tao on the cover, and most of these are therefore EXO M editions. If you're into K-pop or EXO, you know what that means. I then have the DVD for EXO from the Exoplanet, their first tour. This is actually the greatest K-drama soundtrack of all time, and it's the soundtrack to She's in the Trap, which is amazing. The show I also loved, but I know that it had some issues due to like production stuff, but this is gorgeous. Then we have another EXO album. I don't even remember which one it is. We then have the Exology Chapter 1, The Lost Planet. This is their concert album of their first concert. Then we have a Beast album. And this is the Beast Good Luck album. The dark edition, I think. They made a dark and a light one. And I got this from my friends actually when they were in Korea. And they knew that I had to get the dark one. It does have my favorite songs by Beast, which are Sad Movie and Good Luck. Then the final album I have here is the Young Forever by BTS. Also a great one. Many incredible songs, amongst them Save Me, Fire, House of Cards. Yeah, good stuff. That's that small collection, I guess. I also have this book with Prosecco recipes that I got from my friend because we love drinking Prosecco together. I don't have this like fake book here where I keep like memories and like tickets and stuff. And then up here I have Lily Singh's How to Be a Boss book. Whoops. I haven't finished reading it entirely, but I do enjoy it. I got it when Lily first like released it, I think, and it's quite cool. And I also want to be a boss lady and be able to hustle and all that. So I do want to finish reading this someday. Now let's move down my shelf. This is a shelf that you've probably seen quite a bit though, because here are my like pretty editions. I have the Iliad and the Odyssey with these gold gilded pages. I also have classic tales of science fiction and fantasy, Arabian Nights. I do have this edition of the Betrayals, but this edition really matches with my other ones. I think it's stunning. Then we have like my classics. I'm working on this, okay? It's not that much. I've decided to collect these black spine penguin classics. If I'm buying classics that are not in these like gorgeous leather-bound editions. I'm also keeping the Book Thief here. It's actually a book that I got to borrow from my friend, so it's the Swedish translation, and I haven't read it yet, so I'm keeping it here as a reminder for me to read it. And then the final pile, it doesn't usually look like this. Usually this table in general is quite messy because it also acts as my nightstand. Here we have the books that I hope on reading this month. Grab them from my shelf. I have them here, easy access for when I'm gonna read them. So this is sort of like more nostalgic, more pretty. And here we have my next set of shelves. And yes, it's very crowded here. I have some like handbags to the right and my guitar to the left that I don't play because I don't know how to play the guitar, but I own a guitar. We have like my games for like PlayStation, Wii, PC. I haven't played these in years, but I still like to have them here. Then here we have TV series and books, because I'm starting to struggle with fitting things on my shelves. Oh, and also a random Cards Against Humanity game, which I got from my friends as a birthday gift last year. Let's just talk about these things over here first before getting to the book things, okay? Here we have all 7 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and they are so pretty and probably really dusty as well. I rewatched this show like 3 times, if not more. and I love it, and I will rewatch it until my end. We also have the 5 seasons of Angel. I've only watched this one once. It's not the same, obviously, but it's Angel, and I love Angel, so of course we're gonna have the Angel DVDs as well. As I said, Cards Against Humanity up here. Let's just move this one quickly. I also have some more movies and shows back here that I won't really bothering getting into. I have like the Dark Knight collection, some Friends, some Gossip Girl, Pretty Little Liars, and some random Disney VHS. This is like the first part of my bookshelf, I guess. These are mainly unread books. Of course, I read this trilogy, and this one I have nowhere to fit. So like, it's just laying there. Like, I couldn't do a thing with it. As you can see, some books are pulled out because I'm currently reading them. Is there anything that stands out? Well, this one is easy to grab. This is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I've already read this one, but I needed it as a physical copy because I want to reread it. I then also have this one, which is like a memoir or like poem biography. I'm not even sure what it is, but it's by Orion Carlotto, and she's like a YouTuber / influencer. She did a poem collection called Flux a couple of years ago, and last year she released this, which is called Pin for Her, which I think is like her photos and like memories and stuff like that. I am intrigued by it. I love her style. I think she's really cool. So yeah, gonna have to see what I think about this one. So here we have like my main TBR shelf. Let's call it that. As you can see, I have tried to go for a rainbow. I do think it kind of works. Not entirely, but kinda. Once again, as you can see, it's double stacked. So let's just have a quick look behind and see if we can see anything interesting. Back here, I have some classics that I borrowed from my brother. These are the Swedish translations of the classics, and most of these are not the like complete edition. They are all like edited, I think. Like you can see, we have the Count of Monte Cristo there, and that one should be like 5 times longer. I read a couple of these. I did read that edition of the Count of Monte Cristo. I've also read Alice in Wonderland. Then I have some random like, these are called songbooks, the small ones over there. It's like a Swedish student tradition sort of thing. Then we have the 2 poem books that I have. We have Milk and Honey and Flux, which I mentioned before, on top of a random box, and that box is on top of my collection of Harry Potter books. You can only see the first 3, but I promise that they are all there. I have only read the first 3. The 4th one is over here, waiting to be read. So yeah, I have all of them there. I don't need to see all of them. I just need to have the one I'm at available to me. So let's look at this, shall we? As you can see, I mainly buy fantasies because those are probably the ones I will be most interested in finishing. Let's see if there are any that stands out. This is just a random book that my brother left in my bookshelf. It's like the biography of James Bond or something. I don't know. I like James Bond. I can read it. This is also a cool one. It's by the creator of the brand Nudie, which is like a jeans brand in Sweden. And it's called Start Your Own Fucking Brand. What more do we have? We have the Czech edition of Twilight, which I do want to read hopefully soon, because I'm starting to forget all the Czech that I know. This is probably the oldest book on my shelf, because I think I got this book like when I was in like secondary school or like 9th grade or something like that, when I was really into reading back in the day. This is Graysling. It's the Swedish translation, but I know it's called Graysling in English. And I have kept it because I do think people enjoy this one, so I do want to give it a try before unhauling it. Like, I'm dedicated to finishing this within the year. If I don't, I'm gonna unhaul it. We also have this really tiny book, which is No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. Probably a really sad and depressing book that you need to be in the right mindset for. But that's sort of it for this one. And now for the final main shelf, I guess. These are my read books, or mainly my read books. Basically, these are my read books or my currently reading books. And once again, I have some things behind. I have some random cookbooks, a graphic novel, and just like some books that couldn't fit, like the Folk of the Air series you can see over there. You can also see the Twilight books and the Hunger Games books, and I also have the Hush Hush series, the Fallen Angel series somewhere there. But let's focus on these ones. These are much more fun to look at. So basically, until here, I have read all of the books. This is still unread. I haven't read this one. This is like some sort of Buffy the Vampire Slayer short stories book. And then from Life of Pi and onwards, we have my currently reading books. So let's start over here. Well, of course, we have A Little Life. I love this book so much. We have Cersei, Daisy Jones, Elantris, Murakami. The thing with this shelf is that I'm trying to keep it in alphabetic order. That was my plan with this one. So like A, C, D, so on, so on, so on. But then we reached Poppy War. And I love this series so much, and I wanted to keep them together. This is sort of like the Poppy War series. I also need to show you this gorgeous edition of The Invisible Life of Adela Rue. Look at those pages. So pretty. Once again, vengeful. I have lent my friend Vicious the first book in this series, so I'm waiting to get it back someday. Warm Bodies. Underrated book that I never hear people talk about. It's what the Warm Bodies movie was based on. And it's surprisingly funny. Same thing with Water for Elephants. I bought it because I had watched the movie Water for Elephants, which stars Robert Pattinson and Reese Witherspoon, as you can see. Yes, I did say that I was a Twilight fan. But this is honestly a very beautiful book as well. And then we have my currently reading, also in alphabetical order. So we have like Life of Pi, Ninth House, Sapiens, and Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. While we're here, we can just have a quick look. What's down here? Well, as we can see, it's a mess. This is where I'm keeping some of my university books and like papers and stuff. So what do we have here? Quickly run down. We have like a dictionary, lexicon, stuff like that. Then we have university physics. Whoa, I used that book in 3 courses, basically read all of it. We have elementary differential equations, my Korean books, because I studied in Korea, also my Chinese books, because I took 2 courses in Chinese, because why not? Some like project management and lean, some more medical engineering stuff, so we have like physics for diagnostics, radiology, physiology, medicine and technology, like a mathematical handbook. And then just like dictionaries. I don't know, we have like a Swedish to Spanish book. This is like Czech and Slovakian to Swedish. And then this is just like a small English. And then just some random like files. But that's the overview of my shelves. And that was it for my bookshelf tour. What do people call these? I'm so excited about sometime in the future just moving and being able to have more bookshelves and more space for my books and like be able to do it a bit prettier, a bit more convenient. We're gonna have to see what the world has in store for me regarding housing and work stuff, and yeah. That's a completely different conversation that we're not gonna have now. That's my bookshelf tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about any of these things or like whatever, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. I am kind of happy that I could share a different type of bookshelf with you all. Like, not all bookshelves can take up an entire wall space and stuff like that. Sometimes you just gotta deal with what you have and try to make the best out of it. I have really done my best. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came